Hello students, in this video we will start the trends in physical properties. I've told you students that the properties which repeat their trends after regular intervals or which repeat their properties after regular intervals, that is either increase or decrease in a pattern, that is called as periodicity. So the first periodic property which we are going to study in this video is radius. Students, you all know what radius is, but it is very difficult to measure the distance or to measure the radius of a single atom. We know the distance from the center of the nucleus to the outermost shell of an atom is the radius, but it is very difficult to measure the size of the radius of a single atom because the size of atom is very small and it is difficult to isolate a single atom. And we know according to probability picture that there is only the possibility of finding an electron which is never zero, and due to electron cloud we cannot measure the exact size as there is no boundary of electron. So that is what scientists have decided. They decided to measure the radius in the bonded state. In place of free state, they decided to measure the radius in the bonded state. Now there are different type of bonds, that is covalent bond and metallic bonds and van der Waals bonds and ionic bonds. So as a radius, so there are different type of radiuses also, that is covalent radius, van der Waals radius, metallic radius and ionic radius. So first of all we will start with covalent radius. Now what is this covalent radius? Suppose we have two atoms, that is like x1 and x2. These are the two atoms and they both are forming the covalent bonds with each other. In covalent bonds there is overlapping of atoms over each other. So what we will do, we will take the measure, we will measure the distance from one center of the one atom to the other center of the other atom, or basically you can say that we will take the internuclear distances between the two atoms, we will measure that and we will divide that by 2. The result we get is the covalent radius of one atom. This in further video you will see that this distance is also called as bond length. Clear? Now suppose we have any covalent any atom which forms covalent bonds, like suppose we are having one bromine atom where there are a bromine molecule where there are two bromine atoms bonded together. So we will take their internuclear distances, like on the screen you can see it is 2.86 Armstrong. The unit can be Armstrong also, the unit can be picometers also, it depends. And then we will divide it by 2, that is 1.43 Armstrong. So the radius of one atom of bromine will become 1.43 Armstrong. So in this way we can measure the radius of the atoms which forms covalent bonds. Now the second type of radius is called as van der Waals radius. Van der Waals radius we see especially in gases, especially in noble gases where there is no bonding and the molecules are far apart from each other. There we can see the van der Waals radius. Actually the force of attraction which works between two molecules here is van der Waals force. Like suppose we are having two molecules of hydrogen. The first two circles are two atoms of hydrogen, that is one molecule of hydrogen, and next two circles which are on the screen are two atoms of hydrogen, that is another molecule of hydrogen. And these two molecules are close to each other, they are coming close to each other, and when they reach to the maximum, when they get their maximum closeness, why I am saying maximum closeness, because when two molecules come close to each other after a certain closeness, then further closeness is not possible, because if we will try to keep them more close then there will be repulsion between them. तो जब दो मॉलिक्यूल्स एक दूसरे के इतने पास आ जाएंगे जिसमें फर्दर क्लोजनेस और पास आना पॉसिबल नहीं हो, at that time we will measure their internuclear distances. Like you can see on the screen also, we have measured the distance from one center to the another center and we will divide it by 2. So the radius which we will get, that is called as van der Waals radius. As we have seen that in covalent radius the atoms are overlapping over each other, but in van der Waals the gaseous molecules are far apart from each other. That is why the distance is big in van der Waals. radius. That is why the van der Waals radius is always bigger, or you can say larger than covalent radius. Remember this always. Clear? Noble gases have this radius, especially like if we talk about helium. So in helium we can see the van der Waals radius only. Now the next type of radius which we will study is metallic radius. Now what is this metallic radius? Metallic radius is a radius which we can see in the metals. In metals the atoms are very close to each other. See, in covalent radius the atoms were overlapping over each other. In van der Waals radius they were far apart. Now in metallic radius the atoms are very close to each other. Like suppose I am saying one iron rod, so there will not be one atom of iron, there will be many atoms of iron. And we know that metals have the free electrons. So if one atom is having free electron, another atom is also having the free electron. So due to these electrons they will attract to each other and form a bond and bond will form between them, and that bond is called as metallic bond. And when many atoms will form the metallic bonds, they will form a structure, a lattice type structure. Metals always exist in lattice type structures, they always form the lattice type structures. So in lattice there are many atoms of metals forming metallic bonds. So in metallic bonds the atoms come close to each other, they just did not overlap to each other, and they are not far apart also, they are close to each other. So at that time when they are close to each other, we will take their internuclear distances and divide it by 2. So the radius which we will get, that is called as metallic radius. Clear? So 3 type of radiuses we have seen. Now the last one is ionic radius. Ionic radius, from the name itself it is very much clear that this type of radius we can see in the ions. We are having 2 type of ions, cations and anions. Suppose we have an atom and we are extracting or adding an electron to it. So it will become either cation, that is suppose the atom is M. So it will become either the cation, that is M plus, or the anion, that is M minus. So the effective distance from the center of the nucleus of an anion has up to which an influence in the ionic bond, that is called as ionic radius. See students, now we are having one problem in ionic radius. Suppose 2 atoms are forming an ionic bond. In ionic bond you know that there is sharing of electron. So the anions always have a bigger radius than cations. Why it is so? I am giving you one example for this. Suppose we are having a compound named as sodium chloride. We know sodium, the sodium is having the atomic number of 11. It means it is having 11 electrons and 11 protons. So normally 11 protons attract the 11 electrons towards itself. Clear? So effective charge is due to the 11 protons. Now when sodium loses one electron and becomes sodium cation, that is Na plus, so the number of electron decreases to 10, but the number of protons are still 11. So the 11 protons are attracting the 10 electron towards itself. So what will happen? The effective nuclear charge will increase, due to which the size will decrease. Clear? So that is why cations are always smaller in size. But in anions, like in chlorine, the atomic number of chlorine is 17. So normally there are 17 electrons and 17 protons. 17 protons attract 17 electrons. But when the chlorine will gain 1 electron and becomes chlorine anion, that is Cl minus, there will be 7 protons attracting to 18 electrons. So effective nuclear charge will decrease. That is why the size of anion will increase. So that is why anions always have the bigger size than cations. So we whenever we measure the radius of cations and anions, we need to keep this also in consideration. Now there is one more thing which I want to discuss with you, that is isoelectronic species. You know, in chapter 2 also we have studied that isoelectronic species are the species those are having the same number of electrons. Clear? So why I am telling you here about isoelectronic species? Because in isoelectronic species the size, the radius is inversely proportional to their atomic numbers. Clear? Like suppose we are having oxygen, O2, O2 minus, N3 minus, F1 minus, Na plus, Mg2 plus. So they all are isoelectronic species because they all are having 10 electrons. So now if we want to arrange them in the increasing order of ionic radius, so how we will arrange them? We will see their atomic numbers. because if the atomic number is more, the ionic radius will be less, and if the atomic number is less, the ionic radius will be more. Accordingly, Mg2 plus will have the minimum size, then Na plus, then F minus, then O2 minus, and then N3 minus. In live class we will practice for this. Otherwise, if we talk about the trends, if we talk about the changes in the radius, so what we can see, when we move along a period, that is from left to right, the atomic radius, that the radius always decreases. Why it is decreases? Because the nuclear charge increases. As the number of protons increases, that is why the nuclear charge also increases when we move along a period. This is the reason that radius decreases, though there are some exceptions also about which we will study later, but here I am telling you the trend. And when we move from top to bottom, that is down the group, then the number of shells will increase. That is why the radius will also increase. Like in hydrogen the number of shell is 1, in lithium the number of shell is 2, in sodium the number of shell is 3, because the number of shells are increasing, that is why size also increases. So what is the trend for the radius? That is along a period it always decreases, and down the group it always increases. In this video we will study about this also. This is ionic radius. As I've told you that cations are always smaller than the anion, so X plus is the cation and Y minus is the anion. Clear? So this is a trend. Like from lithium, when we move from lithium to fluorine, the radius always decreases, and when we move from hydrogen to lithium and lithium to sodium and sodium to potassium, the radius increases. Clear? Remember this. Thank you.